Hey everyone, this is Nyna Kaputi, founder and CEO of the Expat Woman and host of this YouTube channel. And I'm really excited today because I'm going to show you, or rather, I'm going to use ChatGPT to plan my trip to Australia. So, some of my family and I are going to Australia in April for a cousin's wedding. This is my first trip. The wedding is in New South Wales, and I've never been before. And I thought, let's use ChatGPT to figure out what I should do there and what kind of food and what kind of souvenirs to bring back. And if you don't know anything about ChatGPT, or you just want to learn a little bit more about it, watch my other video. I did a video on how you can use ChatGPT when you move abroad, and I explain a little bit more about what ChatGPT is and how it can be your virtual assistant rather in almost anything you do. So I will link to that video in this the description of this video. If you're watching the podcast, I will include the link in the show notes and watch that before you watch this. All right, let's get started. So let me share my screen and open ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm going to say, help me plan my 10-day trip to New South Wales, Australia. Sorry. Okay, so if you have a question for ChatGPT, you're traveling somewhere, you can ask them to plan your trip. You can ask them for suggestions on what kind of food to eat, where would be the best places to visit, where to stay, what kind of health insurance you need if you're traveling there. If it's a country where you don't speak the language, like in this case, Australia, English is the spoken language, so I don't need to learn phrases and maybe even need help with certain customary words. So I don't have to worry about that. But let's see what ChatGPT has to say. It says, this sounds like an exciting trip. Here's a suggested itinerary for your 10 days in New South Wales. So this is really giving me an itinerary. So it says, explore the Sydney. So it says, day 1 to 3, explore the Sydney Opera House and Sydney Harbour Bridge. Visit the Royal Botanic Garden and Mrs. Somebody's chair for stunning views of the harbour. I can't pronounce that word. I think it's Macquarie's. Spend time at Bondi Beach and the Bondi to Kanji Coastal Walk. Explore the Rock area for a taste of Sydney's history. Visit the Art Gallery of New South Wales. And then tells me, day 4, take a trip to the Blue Mountains. Visit the Three Sisters Rock Formation at Katoomba. Ride the scenic railway or skyway for panoramic views. Explore the charming town of Laura. Then tells me day 5 and 6 to visit Hunter Valley, which is a wine region. Also tells me to take a hot air balloon over the vineyards. And then day 7 and 8, travel to Byron Bay, a laid back coastal town. Day 9 to 10, Port Stevens, visit the sand dunes at Stockton Beach and try sandboarding. Actually, I just realized I'm going to be in Australia for 7 days because I'm in the US and it takes almost 2 days to get there, between the time difference and the travel time, even though I'm taking a direct flight from San Francisco to Sydney. I think the flying time is about 15 and a half hours, but I leave on a Sunday night and I get into Sydney on a Tuesday morning, and then I leave the following week on a Wednesday morning. But that doesn't matter. At least this I did more to kind of show you, but also some of the places that I'm going to visit for sure are the Sydney Opera House, Bondi Beach, and hopefully the Blue Mountains. Okay, so this is telling me in terms of what to see. It's given me a mix of city, nature, and beach experiences. I love that it broke up the days. I'm sure I could dig deeper into each of these places, ask them more about the Blue Mountain. Let's ask them, how can I travel to the Blue Mountains? What are the best methods of travel to the Blue Mountains? What are the best methods of travel to the Blue Mountains. There are several, so it's given me several suggestions. You can take the train from Sydney Central Station to stations like Katoomba or Laura in the Blue Mountains, and it tells me how long the journey takes, about 2 hours, and it offers scenic views along the way. That sounds great. I love train journeys. You could drive to the Blue Mountains. It takes about 1.5 to 2 hours from Sydney, depending on traffic. There are several bus services that operate between Sydney and the Blue Mountains. This would be more affordable than the train or driving, but the travel time can be longer. I hate bus travel. So that's out. There's also a guided tour of the Blue Mountains. I don't like guided tours because, you know, I like taking things at my pace, and maybe the tour will want you to look at one spot, and then I might want to look at another spot. So I don't like that. And then there's private transfer, which is like a hire car service to take you to the Blue Mountains. Okay, so again, they say the best method of travel depends on your preferences, budget, and schedule. If you're looking for convenience and scenic views, the train might be the best way to go. So I'm going to do the train. 2 hours is not too bad. And I think we can spare a day to the Blue Mountains. All right. So I've already booked my ticket. I already have an Airbnb booked. I'm staying in the town of Macaville. So I'm going to look now. I want to find out more about, and my phone's making all kinds of noises. I'm sorry, not my phone, but my watch. But so let's ignore that. So I'm going to say I am staying in Macaville. Can you suggest some fun things to do there and places to eat at that are authentic and affordable? I don't know how expensive Australia is. We went to Switzerland last year, and even food in the McDonald's was prohibitive. So, but luckily I joined a group before that, so I knew what to do. I didn't use ChatGPT last year when I went to Switzerland, but this year I decided let me check out Australia using ChatGPT, and I've also joined a couple of Facebook groups which are focused on travel to Australia. So let's see. Oh, maybe I spelled it wrong. It says this. So look at this. So ChatGPT also helps you when you've made a mistake. It says it doesn't appear to be a town called Macaville in New South Wales, Australia. So maybe let's try. I think maybe I put in a K. It should just be Macerville. Let's see. Let's see if they got it. Oh, it says it's fictional. Okay, I don't have time right now to look for the correct spelling of this town. Maybe I'll do another YouTube video with ChatGPT to get the right name because I don't want to waste your time or mine. So let's leave Macaville for now. I do have the Airbnb there. So, and the owner of the Airbnb has given me a lot of suggestions on places to visit. But whenever I go to a new country or even a new city or town within a country, I always like to know what should I eat there. So I'm going to ask, um, what are some traditional foods that Australia is famous for? So Australia is famous for its diverse culinary scene, influenced by its indigenous heritage and multicultural population. Here are some traditional Australian foods and dishes you might want to try. The first one it says is meat pies. That sounds delicious. These are savory pies filled with minced meat, usually beef, gravy, and sometimes onions and mushrooms. They are a popular snack or meal in Australia. The next one I've heard of a lot. Other people refer to this. I don't think I've ever had one. Lamingtons, a dessert consisting of squares of sponge cake coated in chocolate icing and desiccated coconut. They are often served at parties and events. So maybe my cousin will serve them at the wedding, but I'm going to still look for them before the wedding. pavlova, a meringue-based dessert named after the Russian ballet dancer Anna Pavlova. It's crispy on the outside and soft on the inside, topped with whipped cream and fresh fruits. Oh my gosh, everything's making me so hungry. Vegemite, a thick dark brown paste made from leftover brewer's yeast extract with various vegetable additives, sorry. It's commonly spread on toast or crackers. I've heard of this. I don't believe I've ever, maybe I've seen it at World Market or Cost Plus here in the US. I don't think I've ever eaten it. Anzac biscuits. These are sweet biscuits made from rolled oats, flour, desiccated coconut, sugar, butter, golden syrup, baking soda, and boiling water. They have a long history and are associated with the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps Anzac from World War One. I've noticed they use a lot of desiccated coconut. I'm curious to know if like coconuts grow in Australia. That's going to be my next question. I know Fiji's pretty close to Australia, and I think being a tropical island, they must have coconut trees. So I'm wondering if they're coming from Fiji or whether Australia too has, uh, you know, coconut trees growing there. Then they say barramundi, a type of fish native to Australia, often grilled or fried and served with lemon or a sauce. Kangaroo meat. While not as common as other meats, meat is lean and has a gamey flavor. It's often used in dishes like kangaroo steak or kangaroo burgers. I'm not sure about this, but I like trying new foods, so maybe I'll try. Last year, or was it the year before? My family and I visited the Netherlands, and we landed up eating. It was Dutch food. I was looking for authentic Dutch food, and some kind of baked savory pastry. And I asked the owner, it was a little hole in the wall restaurant, and he said that was horse meat. I like the flavor. It was delicious. And for those who don't eat meat, I'm sorry if I'm grossing you out, but my husband was like, "Ugh, I didn't like it. I feel like throwing up." Anyway, so we'll have to see about the kangaroo meat. And then it says damper, a traditional Australian soda bread historically prepared by swagmen, drovers, stockmen, and other travelers. So that's pretty interesting. I'm definitely going to try all these. I might even shoot a video and so I can show you these foods and maybe give you my thoughts on them. But they said Australian cuisine continues to evolve with influences from around the world, especially from Asia and Europe. So now my other question is, when I go to a place, I also like to bring stuff back from that place. So I'm going to ask them both for myself and also as gifts for friends and family. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what can I bring back to the US from Australia as gifts and souvenirs? I'm doing everything in lowercase just to save time. Hopefully ChatGPT doesn't mind everything in lowercase and will still answer my question. Okay. So Australia offers a wide range of unique gifts and souvenirs that you can bring back to the USA. Here are some examples. Okay, so it's given me like 9 examples. Looks like it's doing everything in eights and nines. Oh, nines, yeah. Okay. So it says Australian wine. Australia is known for its excellent wines, particularly Shiraz and Chardonnay. You can bring back a bottle or two of Australian wine as a gift. I've actually seen Australian wine in the supermarkets and grocery stores here, so I may not get wine, and I'm not much of a wine drinker. Authentic or Aboriginal art, including paintings, sculptures, and didgeridoos. I'm sure I mispronounced that word. Uh, um, Maybe I'll ask the ChatGPT how to pronounce that. Can make for unique and meaningful gifts. Just ensure that you purchase from reputable sources, so that hopefully, there I can buy Aboriginal art that where there's no middleman. I don't know. Again, my first trip here. I am part of several travel to Australia Facebook groups, so I can ask questions in those groups as well. But I have my virtual assistant here, right? At my fingertips. I don't have to wait for someone to answer them, and then I can ask as many questions as I want and ask further questions on something that ChatGPT is sharing with me. Australia opals, OPALS. Don't know how to pronounce that correctly. It produces some of the world's finest opals. Consider buying opal jewelry or loose opals to bring back as a beautiful souvenir. I would like to get one of those. I love jewelry, so maybe I don't know what the prices are, so I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. Yeah, Tim Tams. I've seen Tim Tams at Cost Plus here in the Bay Area. These chocolate coated biscuits are an Aussie favorite and make for a tasty and affordable gift. Australian tea and coffee. Australia has a growing coffee culture, and you can bring back or find high quality coffee beans and unique tea blends to bring back. Kangaroo leather products. Kangaroo leather is known for its strength and durability. Items like wallets, belts, and bags made from kangaroo leather can be unique gifts. Then there's Australian beauty products. Actually, I just picked up some Aussie hair gel. I think it's called Aussie. I think that's a brand name for my husband, and I've been using a little bit of it. In fact, I just used it before this recording this video because my hair had so many flyaways and was just standing out. So kind of like an ad for them. Australia is known for its natural beauty products, including skincare and hair products made from native ingredients like kakadu, plum, and eucalyptus. Interesting, kakadu, plum, and eucalyptus. I'll have to look that up as well. I'm going to download ChatGPT onto my phone, and then I can look for all these things. Australian made clothing. Look for clothing items made by Australian designers or brands for unique addition to your wardrobe. Definitely want to check that out. And then Australian snacks, packs of Vegemite, Anzac biscuits, or other Australian snacks can make for fun and tasty souvenirs to share with friends and family. I will be traveling to see my in-laws to celebrate their a big milestone wedding anniversary. So I'm going to bring stuff to give them from Australia for sure. Remember to check customs regulations for any restrictions on bringing food, plant, or animal products into the USA before making your purchases. So that's very important to keep in mind whether you're traveling or you are moving countries as an expat, to find out what you can bring in when you enter the airport, or if you're, I guess, coming in by sea or maybe even by road, right? So I'll keep that in mind. Now I want to check the weather because I want to know how much should I pack. I'm not how much should I pack, but what should I pack, right? Because I know that the climate in Australia is different. I don't know. I'll just look it up on ChatGPT before I say anything additional. So I am going to Australia at the end of April. What kind of clothes should I wear? Okay. Australia's weather in late April can vary depending on the region you're visiting, as it marks a transition from autumn to winter in the southern hemisphere. So I'm going to Sydney, New South Wales. So days are generally mild, but evenings can be cool. Bring a mix of light layers such as t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and a light jacket or sweater. A pair of jeans or trousers and comfortable walking shoes are also recommended. So I'm only going to look at Sydney and New South Wales because I'm not going to have time to travel to other parts of Australia. Let's look at what else would I need to look at if I'm traveling to Australia. We looked at of unfortunately I don't have the correct name of the place I'm staying in. I mean, I'm misspelling it obviously because ChatGPT says it doesn't exist, so it's a fictional town. But maybe I look up restaurants with authentic authentic Australian food in Sydney. And I'm going to go to Bondi Beach and the Blue Mountains. I just, even if I can have just one meal which has authentic Australian food, that would be great in the Blue Mountains. Okay, so it's giving me a bunch of restaurants in Sydney: the Australian Heritage Hotel, Bennelong, Quay. So they all have, they say, modern Australian cuisine with a focus on local and seasonal ingredients. In Bondi Beach, it's the Icebergs Dining Room and Bar. And there's another one called the Bucket List, a casual beachfront restaurant offering Australian classics with a modern twist, perfect for a relaxed meal by the beach. And then the Blue Mountains, it's given me two restaurants as well. Dali's Restaurant, it's located in the historic Lilienfels Blue Mountains Resort and Spa, and then the Conservation Hut, nestled in the heart of the Blue Mountains National Park. This restaurant offers Australian cuisine with stunning views of the Jameson Valley. So these are just some of the options that offer authentic Australian food. And then my last question to ChatGPT is, what is the cheapest and fastest, simplest way to travel in New South Wales? So it's in public transport. In major cities like Sydney, Newcastle, public transport, including trains, buses, and ferries, is often the cheapest and simplest way. Opal cards can be used for all modes of public transport and offer discounted fares. And there's Uber and Ola. I don't think there's a Lyft. Okay, so we might just take Uber when it's not very long distances, because I'm with my husband and some of my kids. Car rental, we could drive in Australia, but I think it's so much less stressful when you take public transport or take Uber. So you can do cycling, you can do walking, and you could use budget airlines. But as I said, we're not there long enough to fly, so we just use the trains and ride shares. I think that would be best. And then I wonder if how does I think the other question I have is, where is the best places to make to change? Well, let me see what the Australian dollar to the US dollars. I don't know how updated ChatGPT is, but I'm going to check. What is the Australian dollar versus the US? And I'm wording some of these questions wrong, but I think ChatGPT is smart enough to understand what I'm saying. Okay, as of the last update, the exchange rate between the Australian and the US dollar fluctuates. So it's not really telling me what it is. As I said, I don't think this ChatGPT 3.5 has been updated. And maybe things like this I have to look online. As they say, check a reliable financial news source or currency conversion website for the most current rate before making any transactions. But you can see, so just to sum up, I use ChatGPT to find out the modes of transport in Australia, the types of foods I can eat there, places I could visit, what kind of clothes to take, what kind of souvenirs and goodies to bring back. I'm already so excited, and it's made it so much simpler for me that I'll have to Google it. And as I said, I also belong to these Facebook groups, but you know, these are so many questions, and sometimes people, everyone's giving you different answers, and then people are arguing. So I'm glad that I use Chat GPT, and I want to thank you for hanging out with me. If you watched this whole video and learning about, if you do plan to visit Australia at some point, or maybe you're planning to visit some other country, or you're moving to another country, you can see how you can use Chat GPT to just give you, like, very quickly, you can see in barely 2 or 3 seconds, it's pulling up the responses. I think it's really cool. Of course, I will double check everything. I'm not going to take everything Chat GPT take shares as I'm going to take it all with a pinch of salt, right? And then do my due diligence and make sure that everything it's telling me is really true. But at least it gives me a sense of, what to pack, because I will still check the weather. I don't know if it rains in April, end of April, so I'll have to see if we need to take raincoats and umbrellas, what kind of shoes, whether we need to take, because if we're going to take nice clothes for the wedding, we're also going to be doing some touristy stuff. So I will double check that, but this has definitely given me a good sense of what to expect in Australia, since I have a limited amount of time. What are the places to visit? Because again, it can be so overwhelming when you go to all these Facebook groups and these websites with all the different suggestions and ideas, and what to do and what to wear and what to buy. So I love this. And hopefully I can do a couple of videos when I am in Australia, so I can you can have a look at the behind the scenes and kind of go on the journey with me. Maybe some of you are looking at moving to Australia or wanting to visit there. I'm not getting paid by the Australian government. Maybe I will add some affiliate links in the YouTube description if I figure that out. Anyway, thank you so much. This is Nyna Kapuri, founder and CEO of the Expat Woman. If you liked what I just shared, if you want to see more videos like this, my travel videos, figuring out new technologies to help navigate life abroad, my interviews with other expat guests, leaders, influencers, service providers, and more, subscribe to the Expat Woman channel and do like and comment. And I will see you soon. Bye.